This topic is so interesting because what seems like such a simple question is really a very complex question with a great amount of information and research to learn about. Knowing how waves are formed is something that I believe everyone should know since it's part of the biggest area of our world. Here are a few key terms to know before we get into answering the question. Crest, which is the very top point of the wave, the trough, which is the space between the waves, a wave period, which is the time required for the wave's crest to reach from one position to the next, wave frequency, which is the number of wave crests passing a certain point each second, and lastly, wave height, which is determined by the calm sea level. There are two different types of waves, wind waves and tidal waves. Waves are formed by the gravitational pull between the sun, moon, and earth. The most common waves are wind waves. They're formed from the wind blowing across the top of the water and creating friction. The energy from the wind is shared with the water molecules, which causes the waves. The waves get bigger as the wind gets stronger. Tidal waves are much larger than wind waves, which is due to the gravitational pull between the earth, moon, and sun. The earth itself cannot withstand the great amount of water that is present, so therefore, the gravity between the earth, sun, and moon keep all of the water in place. The earth and moon work as magnets pulling the water to and from each other. Depending on which side of the earth the moon is closest to, has high tide, and the side furthest away has low tide. This happens twice a day on Earth. In extreme tide, the earth, sun, and moon are all perfectly aligned, and the tides are about 20% higher than usual. This was discovered by George Biddle Airy, who was an English mathematician and astronomer. George Airy was born in England in 1801 and later died in 1892. He was an astronomer, which is how he discovered that the moon's gravitational pull was the cause of waves. He constructed a magnetic model to help find how gravitational pull from the moon and Earth affected the waves and tides here on Earth. In conclusion, waves are determined by the gravitational pull between the Earth, Sun, and Moon. Wind can also help the construction of a wave. There are probably more factors that go into waves, such as an underwater landscape and movement, but that just hasn't been studied as much as the gravitational pull.